Hi, is this Lindsay?
This is Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay. This is Officer Moore with the Lone Tree Police Department.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So I heard you had some questions.
Yeah, so my husband owns Arapahoe Hyundai. It's a car dealership in Centennial.
Uh-huh.
And in February, I believe it was February, they had to fire an employee for an altercation that he had on the lot, and I believe that he punched out a parts a parts person, and so he had charges pressed, and they were handling that on the business side. But in the last probably month or so, my son from that employee. They do have an order of protection in Arapahoe County for the business. However, he's reached out to me on Facebook. Nothing really threatening, but he added me on Facebook. He then sent me a message saying, "Your husband fired me," which I just responded, "Please don't contact me again." He sent several messages to my sister-in-law, telling her that she's a Jew, just saying some nasty things, and I don't know exactly what's all in those. And then yesterday, we all received contact from him from the same phone number. He sent me a text message, which I've never met this guy before. He's just a former employee, nor has my sister-in-law or my father-in-law. So we're just starting to feel a little bit nervous because this happened in February, and he continues to, reach out. And I just want to make sure that we're protected. If there's anything that we can do or what steps we need to take.
Okay, let me look at this real quick. I want to see
Sure.
what the restraining order says. Hold on a minute.
Sure.
New message.
So, are you open on Facebook where you accepted him as a friend?
No. So I'm not, I'm on a private, my Facebook's private,
Yeah.
and I did not add him or anything, but he sent me a message through Messenger.
So you can do that and not be friends with somebody?
Yeah. If you have the Messenger app, you
Okay,
can do
so
that.
there's no way to block that at all, or do you
So
know?
I blocked him after that, but
Okay.
then yesterday he sent me a text message, which my number, as far as I know, is not listed. So I don't know how he would have my text. Like I said, I've never even met this person before. So,
Okay.
I think he looked me up through my
Yeah.
last name.
Your incident has been
which isn't a
updated.
super common last name. So I think but the fact that he's doing the same thing to my sister-in-law, same thing, she's never met him before. So it's like, dude.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to ask dispatch to get that.
Sure.
Has he said anything, reference? Oh, what kind of things has he said to you?
So to me, all he did was add me on Facebook, and then he sent me a message that said, "Your husband fired me," or unfortunately, your husband fired me. And I just, at that point, I already knew, because they had gotten the protection order, I think, put in place because he was sending messages to their parts employees and to the service manager. He sent a nasty email to my husband calling him a fucking Jew, and sent him I think it was a screenshot of our house listed on Zillow, and had sent him a screenshot of that saying, something about the only reason why you can afford this house is because of your dad's money, just stuff like that, which is concerning to me that he has our address and that he's sending that stuff. So they had gone through Arapahoe County to get an order of protection, and then he also, I believe, drove through the lot one day, and so then after they had the order of protection, then he starts reaching out to me, through Facebook, which once again, I already knew to just say, "Don't contact me anymore." And then yesterday, I didn't know that it was his number at first. He sent me a text that just said hi, and it was a random phone number. And I said, "Who's this?" And he said, "Your husband's friend." And at that point, I figured he said David's friend, which is my husband. And my husband doesn't have just random friends that are going to reach out to me, so I kind of figured it was him. And then my sister-in-law got a call from him, and then like 2 minutes later, my father-in-law had a call from him, and it came through as Nick Sircar on his caller ID.
Okay. And what did anybody answer? Did he text you anything other than hi?
Well, so he just said hi, and so I just pretended like he had the wrong number, and I just said, he's like your husband's friend, or he said David's friend, and I just said David who, and he said your husband or something like that. So he didn't say anything threatening to me, but I just didn't want him to know that was my number because I didn't want him to continue calling. So I acted like it wasn't my number.
That's a good idea.
So I don't know where we go with this, but I'm just feeling nervous because it's been, he got fired in February. He has another job. I spent the last 11 years working in HR and doing threat assessments, so my feelers are up,
Yeah, absolutely. That is kind of, I would be alerted to that as well, especially when it's people that he hasn't had any contact with at all. So he's doing research to find out who's related to your husband, and he's researching your residence and where you live, and so were there any charges at all on him other than the assault?
I believe so. I don't know all the details on that piece of it, just because that was through my husband's business. But yes, he had charges, and I believe that he was found guilty, but I've heard that he was on an ankle bracelet. I would imagine my husband has more details on that. I just told him today, he's at work, I said I have to call because I'm place where we're unsafe, and I don't know. It just worries me that he's stewing on it since February, and he has another job. I know that. It's not like he's unemployed. He works at another Hyundai dealership actually up north, so I don't think he's in the area, but I just didn't know where to start, and I just would feel better if at least it was documented somewhere that we were concerned,
Yeah, so I'm going to look at the restraining order and do a little bit more, because the fact that he's making comments about you guys being Jewish, that's bothersome to me.
Well, and we're not. So the crazy thing is that the family's not Jewish at all, nor do we have any history. Now we have a German last name, but other than that, we're not Jewish. However, when you do Google yourself, for some reason, both my husband and his father are listed like on mylife.com, which when you Google, that's one of like the free sites that pops up. And for some reason, it says that they're Jewish. I have no idea where that comes from, but that's where he's getting the Jewish thing, I would imagine, because he's called, my sister a Jew. He's, telling my husband, something about being a fucking Jew, and I'm like, we're not even Jewish.
Well, either way, he thinks you are, so he's using it,
which is concerning.
Which is a hate crime. So that's bothersome to me. So, what's your last name?
Zinsmeister.
How do you spell it?
It's Z as in zebra, I, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, M as in Mary, E-I, S as in Sam, T as in Tom, E-R.
And what's your birthday, Lindsay?
3/5/82.
And your husband's name is David?
It's David.
What's his birthday?
He's 1/20/76.
Okay, I'm going to look into the restraining order and see what it says. Usually, if it was at the business, it might not actually say a home address, or it might not say...
So I know it doesn't, because I did get a copy of it, and they actually, the service manager today that's been kind of dealing with Arapahoe County on the business side had called them today just to let them know that this was happening, and they did say that the order of protection doesn't cover any of us here in Lone Tree. It's only covering the employees, so I don't know if that'll save you a step, but we want to make sure that the 3 residents.
Okay, so if you wanted to get a personal protection order, then that would be something that you would need to do, to go to the courts and request it, and I'm sure with the information that you have from the prior incident and the fact that you're related to this business and that he's contacting you now, I would think would warrant a restraining order for the family as well, to extend it. So I don't know, did you guys go through, how'd you get the other one for the business?
I think they went through, I would imagine through Arapahoe County, because that's who they had talked to. today, so I don't know if they called the Arapahoe County Sheriff or what they did.
So if you know the process about how to get a restraining order for that, you probably would just do that with Douglas County as well.
Okay.
I mean, you have the option. I can call him if I have a phone number and see if I can get a hold of him and tell him to, not making any, contact with David's family at all. I mean, I can do that if you want me to do that.
Well, we could definitely try that. I'm not against that by any means. I mean, I have the phone number that he texted me from yesterday, which is the same number that he called my sister-in-law as well as my father-in-law.
Okay,
so I do have that phone number.
What's that phone number?
Let me see. Okay, it's 970-834-3064.
Alrighty. Well, I'll give him a call and see if he answers, or if we can just at least lay down the parameters here that you don't want any contact with him.
Okay.
And make sure that's clear.
Will you make sure that includes my sister-in-law? Her name is Robin.
Okay, Robin.
And then it would be David and myself, and then it would be Dave and Judy, which is his parents.
Okay.
Okay,
and
perfect.
I'll call and let you know what the outcome is, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
After the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Officer Moore with the Lone Tree Police Department.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hi, I'm calling for Nicholas Sircar. This is Officer Moore with the Lone Tree Police Department. If you can please give me a call back, 303-961-8012. Thanks. Bye.